You're seeing kids' toys. This is a residential neighborhood back in the apartments behind us. I know, Neville, if you can pan back up again here, you can see the destruction. But I'm joined by police spokesman Dean Elsdunne. Dean, tell us what you're finding here and what you're still in rescue and recovery, right?
Absolutely. The efforts of the rescue efforts are still extensive, still ongoing. This is the result of yet another barrage of rockets targeting our civilian populations. I do want to say that the civilian discipline of the population, the Israeli population, to listen to the home front command, to find protected shelter, is what's saving so many lives. But when you see
six people here were
the
killed.
number is very dynamic. It's changing. Obviously, you can see this is not a site that's going to end very quickly. We still have police bomb squads together with the home front command using different technology and removing dangerous debris to find people believed to be injured or missing still underneath this rubble.
Why do you think people are still missing?
I believe, as you can see, that it's clear to see that they might be possibly underneath this rubble. Maybe the communication was lost between their loved ones. They haven't been able to make contact. This is still ongoing. It's still very dynamic, but this is what we've been preparing for to best service our civilians during this very difficult time where they've clearly been targeted by these terror rockets.
It appears that the government doesn't expect this to end anytime soon. There are no schools today, no plans, it appears, for children to go back to schools. And this advice that you're talking about, and listening to the spokesman of the military last night, the IDF saying, look, we have defenses, but they're not hermetically sealed, that Iran still has capabilities. Stay close to your shelters. That continues to be the message. But how long can Iran keep this going?
You know, I can't see the future, but what I can tell you is that we're constantly holding dynamic situational assessments in the police in order to respond to sites like this where residential communities are being targeted. Our bomb squads working very close together with the home front command, canine units that are able to sniff out people that might be trapped underneath the rubble. There's a few different commands that we're asking of the public. Obviously, to stay close to protected shelter, to be in protected shelter until you get a notification to leave, but also not to share locations of impact sites. It's very dangerous. The Iranian regime is obviously using this to continue their targeting of the civilian population, and so we ask to continuously listen to these instructions.
And the fact that this neighborhood has been hit, there are air defenses around the country. How effective can the air defenses be? There's Iron Dome, there's David Sling, there's Arrow 2, Arrow 3. What percentage of Iranian missiles are getting through?
You know, these are questions more for the IDF. Obviously, given the technology, it's less connected to the police. But what I can tell you is that it's a miracle that the number of casualties, unfortunately, it's heartbreaking that there is casualties, that there is fatalities. But when you see a site like this where a building is completely desecrated, demolished, and you see the numbers of those killed and injured, it's honestly a miracle, but it's due to the fact that the public is listening to the instructions to find protected shelter, to stay there. And we all pray for a peaceful and quick end to this.
And just describe for us how big of an area is affected here. How many people have been forced out of their homes? How big is the area of effective impact here?
So what you see here is the direct impact, but it goes much more than that. You have blocks of houses, streets ongoing here where the shards were blasted from the shrapnel, and that's just as dangerous. We saw the Houthi drone attack not too long ago, a couple of months ago, where the fatality there was from the blast and the shard that killed that individual. So those that are injured, those that are killed may not be even here. It could be a block away, 2 blocks away from here.
And quickly, could you give us an assessment of those who have been injured and taken to hospital? How many? What's their condition?
So there's various conditions, and we're talking about dozens of injured. I don't want to get into exact numbers. Obviously, this is also dynamic. It's changing as the forces, the police, and the IDF are working to locate more individuals, and we're finding more individuals. So I don't want to give you that exact number, but I can tell you that unfortunately that number is growing.